out pretty good. So yeah, obviously once you're in here, you know, you can go to settings and you can see I already set up the Agua Clara Kenya organization. And, you know, later in the presentation, we'll set up the Agua Clara Nicaragua one. Yeah, so, yep, exactly. So basically you'll have a whole loaded up list of different organizations, and this is where you can kind of switch context between each organization. So once you're logged in, you're obviously going to want to, you know, manage users. So right now, the only people in the organization Agua Clara Kenya is me, and then just kind of this batch account we created, Agua Clara 001. So I guess we'll just get started. Do you have a Facebook, Paul? I can add you. If there's an existing user in the system, you can grab them from the drop down. So obviously you're not in the system yet, so we're going to add you. So we get your Facebook ID. Do you know your Facebook ID? You know, for me it looks like this. If not, you can log on and you can look at it. Okay, what's yours? J-A-Y B dot what? Alright, so from there we'll get your ID. So this is the number we need to get you access into the system. Yeah, yep, and we'll go through that later, but we'll get him set up. So J Brink, right? So B-D-A-N? D-E-N. Just like that, capital B, just like that. All right. So we'll make you an admin so you can, you know, basically being an admin means you can create these surveys and view these reports. So now you are a admin on the system, and you know, for some reason you leave the organization, we can delete you or we can demote you to just a user. So once you're a user, all you can see is the home view, and all you can do is take surveys at that point. So we'll leave you as an admin. So that's, you know, we got our first user set up. At this point we want to, you know, actually build a survey for our users to use. Yeah, I have a test survey here, but we'll build a new one. So we'll call this, so in the Kenya organization, you want to call this Household Survey Kenya? Alright, at this point we just start loading up with questions. We'll go through, I guess, each type of question. So really we have, you know, 5 different formats, you know, a single answer question, multiple choice, open-ended, you know, GPS or signature. So we'll start with an open-ended one. So I guess what's one of the questions on the survey that we can throw on here?
No questions about your household. How many people are in your household?
So at that point we'll save that question. We will add, is there anywhere you have like a single answer response? Like, you know, choose A, B, C, or D kind of a thing? And then do like 1 to 2 times, 3 to 4 times, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll add a question like that. How often do you wash your hands? Alright, and we'll say, you know, 1 to 2 times daily. You know, this is just a test one. We can delete this and you guys can actually create the real one. Add another item, you know, maybe 3 to 4 times daily. And 4 plus, that would be. We save that question. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Never. She's 0. So we'll save that question. Alright, so multiple choice. Can you think of any multiple choice questions you would have on a survey?
Somewhere does it. What's the main source of drinking water?
Okay.
The household being dry.
Source.
Pardon? Just reading from the evaluation.
I think there's a donkey with a card on that one, right? Yeah.
So you have
So we've got
piped water into your house into your dwelling. Piped water into the yard or the lot. a whole bunch here.
Just like three or four. It's probably fine.
Donkey with cart.
Yeah, that's the best one. How often do they answer donkey with cart? I'm curious.
Bottled water.
Yeah, that'd be good. Alright, so we'll save that question. Alright, we'll do a GPS question. So you probably just, what's the location of the customer? Or? So is this our location? This is our location. So what is the location of the customer? Alright, and then we'll do a signature question for your carbon credit. So, agree to waive your, what is it, VER?
Rights to VERs.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Just for a test. So yeah, you can see here, it'll be on a mobile phone, but you can sign.
How do we get each filter or household ID number?
It'll automatically, you would probably just add a question. So you would probably just put a,
what's the filter ID code?
Yeah, something like that, like an open-ended question, like what is the filter ID code? So that's, I think that's a pretty good sample of a question. Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you want to rearrange it, you just, I don't know if you missed that, you just click on the question. So if we want this one first, you just, you pick which one you want it to go after, or you can just say make it first. So save, and you can see that's first now. So yep. So you can rearrange the order. And once you're, completely done, you're like, all right, this is a golden survey. I want my users to start filling this survey out. You just simply publish it, and now the user's able to report on it. So right now we have this user AquaClear001 as our first user. You can see he's not an admin. So I'll actually log off and I'll log on as AquaClear001. And we'll actually, fill out this survey. I've got a little mobile phone emulator on here that I'll use because it's kind of hard to demo a mobile phone on a projector. So let's log off here. Alright, so this is what it would look like for the user. AquaClear001 is just our little test user. So for instance, if somebody so this is representing somebody in Kenya on a phone. That person doesn't have a Facebook account, so we assigned them AquaClear001 account. And we just created the Household Kenya survey. So really this view is super simple. All they can do is create a survey and fill out questions, or view their history and edit it. That's all the user can do. It's a really simple app. So we're going to create one. So type a name that easily identifies a survey. This is probably where you're going to want to come up with a naming standard that you tell your people, in Kenya or Nicaragua. I'd recommend maybe the person conducting the CHP, maybe put their name on here. So if this is Gladys, possibly your naming standard could be Gladys. And then, maybe she's going to Karoka for one, so you could probably gonna butcher Karoka, something like that. And then maybe the date. So yeah, really just come up with your naming standard. I recommend for naming these surveys. And then we want to take the Household Survey Kenya that we just created, and really those are all the questions. So we go to the first one. What's the filter ID code? So Gladys, I'm sure, would know this. She'd go up to the thing and it's ID, 23, something like that. Next question. How many people are in your household, Paul? 5.5. How often do you wash your hands daily?
I usually don't.
0, okay. Alright. So what's the main source of drinking water during the dry season here in Kenya? Karoka.
Here in Holland, we have a donkey.
Okay.
Our thing comes by the house, and then we buy water.
You bought bottled water. All right. So this is just a fake location because we're kind of in the emulator. So right now you're actually in Waterloo. So if, for instance, no GPS was available, let's say you're in the middle of a crater and you don't get signal, you can type in a manual description. So if you have a separate GPS device, you can do that, or you can literally type in something that you can remember. So
Because here we have like the village, the sub-location
yeah.
of the place, so we know.
So if they have, P.O. Box, I know P.O. boxes are pretty big down there, maybe P.O. Box 23, let's say. And that's just, if this doesn't show up, there's, kind of a fallback. So it'll record all this information. So if it does show up, you're golden. So at this time, do you agree to waive your rights for viewers? So we put your name on there. We give your signature, which it does not like the emulator. I assure you this works on the mobile phone. It doesn't like this emulator. So there's your signature there.
Okay.
And then once you're done, you say done. So if, for instance, you messed one up, oh, I got to edit the survey, the user can go back, see the survey.
Right.
And I actually, the filter code was 24, not 23. You can do that and, just save it. So at this point, it's in the system. If you're offline, it'll automatically sync up. Probably I recommend when the CHP hands the phone back to, Betty, per se, just have her log on. She can go, don't have them log off, go to settings and just make sure, this utility here to make sure everything's synced. You can see it says 0 items pending sync. So we're good. Everything's in the database. You guys can look at it. If there's anything that's pending sync, she can hit sync data and it'll sync it up with a database, so you guys can view it here in Holland. And there's just a few trouble if you're having any problems with the app, you can reload it or reset it. So just some utilities. Also have this language feature here, which the only constraint with the converting it into Swahili using Google Translate is you have to be online for the translation to work. So you might want to play around with this translate feature. Maybe in Karoka it'll work because there's decent internet connections, but maybe if you go out to the bush somewhere, maybe it might not work. So you might want to figure that out if you actually need to do the translation in the physical survey when you're building it. Okay. Yep, so I'm using Google Translate, so these are all the languages. So we've got Swahili in here. We've got, obviously Spanish. So we can, let's see how good it translates it, Paul. You know Swahili, right?
Yeah.
So can you read this stuff? Yeah, Aquaclear. Translating pretty well?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and obviously you have to be online because once I go here, it takes a second to translate. It's because it's all online data right here. Translates. So how's the translations looking on those questions? Whoops. Looking pretty good? All right, let's go back to English. Let's see, is there any other setting I want to show?
We have to do a proper Swahili, not have a Swahili speaker.
Yeah, so you might want to do that just for the fallback, really. I added that feature in there, but there's that constraint that you have to be online. I'll get to the admin portal next on how you would report on it and print it out and all that type of stuff. So I'll get to that. So, yep. So at this point, I added just another feature. If you find a bug or need help question or anything, you can click this link. When I click this, it blows up and I get a blue screen, kind of a bug. So here, yeah, you can create issues. Really just it works better on the website. It's more for the website view. But yeah, you can create issues there, descriptions, and if it's a bug, enhancement proposal. If you want an enhancement, let's say you want it to work on iPhone, go here, say I want it to work on iPhone, and request the enhancement. All right, now that all of our users have filled out a lot of surveys, you're going to want to report on it. So you basically log back onto the web portal with your admin user account. You go to the reporting tab here, and you choose what survey you want to run the report on. So in this case, we're choosing household survey. And this is where you get a couple of views. Here on the table view, you can see everybody in your organization. You can actually scroll down and see all the surveys that have been answered. On the columns here, you see all the questions, and then here's all the answers. You actually get, an image of the signatures too. So if, for instance, you needed to edit somebody's survey, you could just do it right here. So if, AquaClaire001 had a bad survey, you could just say edit, and you could change, if the filter ID is actually 27, you can change that there. And you can see it updated here. So that's a pretty good view for the most part. If you like the list view better, this will kind of list it, the questions down in a list. And probably the last thing you're going to want to do is actually, print out this report once everything looks good, so you can print it here. Then another thing you might want to do is actually kind of filter a report. So if we want to only see the reports filled out by AquaClaire001, we just simply put it in the search bar, and it filters everything out. At this point, if you just wanted to print this one record, you can say print, and it'll just print that one record. And really, if you have, a few hundred surveys or maybe 1,000 surveys in this system, you can kind of page it, by 10, 25, 50, or 100 per page. And there's sorting capabilities. If you click on the top of the column, you can actually, sort things. If you want to sort it by ID, you click over here. That's really an overview of the entire system. So thank you.